On an all new episode of the Big Eyes podcast, we dig deep into Eraserhead's past on My Hero. We figure out why you don't fuck with cats on Demon Slayer, and who is the real villain in the new chapter of Promised Neverland. All this and more on the new episode of the Big Eyes podcast. Welcome, man. This is the first Big Eyes podcast of the decade, man. Big Eyes 2020. Before we start, man, I just want to thank everybody that has listened to an episode, retweeted, liked it, man, send me comments, text, all of it. Like, I really do appreciate it. And when I first started this, I was just so excited. I found something that I wanted to talk about, found something that was like that I loved and wanted to do. And the more I kept with it, man, the more I've seen it grow and the more love and support I've got. So, man, to start off this decade, I just really want to just say thank you to everybody that has supported and showed love from the beginning. And if you're a new listener, thank you for listening and tuning in. Listen to me talk about, manga and talk about, stuff that I love and that so many other people love. And so thank you guys so much. I have been big plans and hopefully just greater things coming from this. So I just really wanted to kick it off, man. Send out those good, that good energy to kick off the new decade, new year. So, man, thank you. And, let's get into these chapters. So first up, man, we got My Hero chapter 256. So 256 was more so we're jumping back into, it was kind of a filler to check in on all the UA students. But before then, we have this beautiful moment where we dig into Eraserhead's past. And one thing I really enjoyed about the last couple chapters is that you really get this depth of Eraserhead, and you really get to just see, this side of him that you really haven't, really seen throughout the whole story at all. You start to see him like care more for students and start caring more for, the others around him. They make him seem as like this hard ass, but he's still a loving kind of teacher. But really, we get to see, we dig into this past. So, we really, so what kicked it off was, he was taking, and we figure out kind of the background of the Nomus. And, with that, we figure out that the Nomus are really kind of, they're like puppets. So they take old heroes who have died and, like manipulate their mind and their bodies and make them make them a puppet, and they use their base quirk and then try to add more quirks to it. That's why the Nomus are so strong. And we figure out that one of the Nomus, the base of it was one of Eraserhead's best friends from his past, named Shira. And, you get this moment where you kind of dig into his past, and you're having these flashback moments of back when Eraserhead was a student back at UA, and he's seeing how important Shira was to his life. Even the goggles that he wears were given to him by Shira. And so you get this moment where you really get to see Eraserhead break down. And, he starts crying as he's looking at his friend as a Nomu, and he's talking to him, and he's like, bro, like, remember me, and you see this emotion coming out of him. And I think these last couple chapters, it was really nice to see, and it was the first time that we have stepped away from the new big three and Endeavor and all the things that they're doing. Is the moment where we step away from that and kind of tie back into the bigger storyline of the League of Villains, the Nomus, like their plan. And it was nice. It was really nice to see. And you get this just beautiful moment with Eraserhead, and even with Mr. Mike, and you even get to see that and just how all their paths connect. So the past couple chapters were really nice, but this latest chapter was kind of a filler chapter. You see how much the students have grown from their work studies You see the new moves and you see what they have worked on. So it was I say it as a filler chapter, it was good, and it ends on a nice little, I guess you could say, cliffhanger. You go back to Eri and Muriel, and you see Eri's having trouble with her horn, and there were you kind of get the you're trying to like, man, what's going on? What's going on with her horn? What's going on with this? And also you Midoriya gets a gift, as you can say, from All Might, and All Might has done some digging and he has found the quirks of the past successors of One for All. And if to refresh your memory, Midoriya's start is pretty much he's going to be the last person for One for All. And that's what it's kind of seeming, because he is starting to gain the quirks and the powers of the past successors. So to figure out what things that he is going to start, the quirks that he's going to start receiving, All Might has done his work and has gone and figure out who are the past successors for One for All. And at the end, you see him get this folder and this, so he can go back and see. So it ends off on a really good note. I really, as a filler chapter, it's something, especially because it's coming off of something kind of heavy of Eraserhead's past, and they kind of get into something light, but they end it with, there's still things going on. So latest My Hero chapter, I felt it was really good. Especially the last couple chapters, I say, man, just like that moment of seeing Eraserhead really step out of what his character usually is, and seeing him really, you give that, like, there's a moment where he is in the prison talking to his friend. He like just takes off the goggles and you see him just straight eyes, and it was a dope moment to see. So yeah, very good chapter, very good My Hero chapter 256. Next up, we have Demon Slayer chapter 189. Man, they are really dragging on this battle with Muzan. Really kind of, I really hope that the end game of all of this is really worth it, because it's kind of, I feel, for me personally, and I'm the type of person, I like long battles. I hate when things like are ended shortly sometimes, especially in anime. I like when you get at least something. But man, this is kind of reaching a point where it's kind of just like the same thing kind of over and over again. You get this short moment where you see that Nezuko still running to the battlefield because her brother is pronounced dead. You see the other Harishas, they're still fighting Muzan. You start to see though that the poison that Muzan has in his blood or in his cells when he cuts them or attacks them, you're starting to see it start take effect on the Harishas. And they have this moment where the Demon Slayer Corps, the other guys, are done trying to evacuate the city, get the other people, and one of them saves a cat, under just a random ass cat under a building, and the cat runs straight to the battlefield, and it runs to where all the fighting, all the action is happening. It jumps in the air and it releases these like vials of, like, I guess you could say it's an antidote. And it magically hits all the Harishas, and they all take this antidote. But in the midst of it giving the antidote to all the Harishas, it gets brutally murdered by Muzan. Like, and they show it. It was kind of like a buzzer beater of how it got the antidote out. Like, it got it out and then it just died immediately. So I don't know. Maybe they watched Don't Fuck with Cats, which, side note, very disturbing documentary on Netflix, but I mean, you should watch it if you get a chance. But it has this moment, and it's it's stated that the cat was like a last gift from Tamayo, who, if you remember, it was was a demon, but was found a way to kind of suppress her bloodlust for humans, and was helping out humans to defeat Muzan, who, so it was kind of like a last gift to her. But man, this battle with Muzan is really dragging on, and it sucks because, they really have a moment here to really, if this is going to be kind of the ending of whatever, they had a moment to really stick the landing here, but I think the longer this drags on without, you know, without I guess a change in action. I'll say that. It just needs a change in action because it's been the same thing for like the past couple chapters, other than like the flashback chapters, but it's just been kind of the same whatever, the same thing. So this week's chapter, hopefully something, you know, is coming soon, something big, something that's like mind blowing that makes all of this worth it. But yeah, man, once again, continuing to just drag on with his chapters. But the cat was definitely a random moment that I found hilarious because I'm like, what the man, for real, it was he really came in the clutch, like really came in, big shot robbed the whole moment of just dropping off these vials and then dying immediately. Didn't even let the cat live. They killed the cat and you can see the cat die. So it's I don't know but no, that was Demon Slayer chapter 189. Last up, Promised Neverland. So last time we kind of checked in with Promised Neverland, they killed the queen, and with that, you think that it's gonna be over, but it really ain't. You have to figure out that the true villain is the white man. No, the true villain is the white man. So Promised Neverland, they're being socially conscious and trying to sell us messages, but you see that Peter Rari is the last person that they really need to defeat. Who was really, he's the head of the Rari family. He's the one that's really been pulling all the strings behind the scenes, especially with like the houses and everything. So you figure out like this is the last person that they have to defeat is Peter Rari. And while they were in the capital fighting, Peter Rari captured all the kids that were hiding out. They take them back to Grace Field House. So we're going back to Grace Field House. This is where pretty sure the final battle is gonna happen. You see the return of Mother, who we figure out is the grandmother to Peter Rari. He calls her grandmother Isabella. She comes out. She got the goons with her. It was a dope moment of seeing this, of seeing her just kind of come through the shadows. Like, man, she came through like, demons all up behind her. Like, it looked like, some shit was really going to pop off, but no. So you have the kids going back, Grace Field House. It's, and then you go back to the capital though. And Sonju and Mika are still in the capital and they are reviving some of the old king and some of the other advisors to the king who were in a suppressed state. So they were pretty much just like meditating, and they was like they stopped their body. They were still alive, but they stopped their body. And Mika has the power to, her blood has the power to like quench the thirst of the demons, so they won't have to eat humans anymore. She gives them the blood, and they revive themselves. But pretty much Sonju and Mika got an APB put out on them by Peter Rari, and you see these demons in the middle of the capital saying like pretty much like these two are the ones that have killed the queen. These two are the ones that have started this. They are traitors. They are this and that. And it was a nice little curveball, because at first I thought they were gonna like bring up the kids again and say, hey man, get these kids, catch these kids, but to throw them that curveball of like making the other demons the evil ones and putting out this kind of ransom for them, it was a nice little curveball. And at the end you see them kind of surrounded, and they have like this, they end on this moment of, it's like Sonju has to fight all these guys. They're pretty much caught and they're captured, and you're just wondering kind of like how is this going to turn around for them? How is this going to look? This is, this last arc is supposed to be the final arc of Promised Neverland. And I will say too, that this is another thing that's just kind of like, it seems that it's been kind of dragging on a bit, but it's different because it's at least they're giving us a little something different each chapter. I feel like, unlike Demon Slayer, where it feels like it's just kind of the same thing over and over again. Promised Neverland is kind of like, all right, what's gonna happen? What's this like? It kind of keeps you on your toes a bit, but you can obviously tell that they are You know, they're stretching this out, but you know, as a final arc, I feel it's like this Majin Buu thing, where I felt like Dragon Ball Z could have ended that Majin Buu like arc so many times, but they didn't. And you know, things like that, it could end well for you or it can end bad. You know, and that's the kind of the danger I feel of when things kind of drag on in anime. And like, I don't know, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm like that person that needs to be satisfied off rip and like, you know, just like keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it action, keep it action. Know what I'm saying? So, but personally for myself, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, it's the, you know, two different sides of the same coin of just like this dragging on thing, but like how to make it work in a sense of, are you going to keep showing me the same, you know, same shit, you know, keep feeding me the same shit? Or are you going to like at least switch up the meals a little bit before we get to like that final course? So, man, this was, you know, so that was the chapters for this week. I'm really happy you guys tuned in. Thank you so much. Once again, you can follow us at RNC Radio Live, for all RNC podcasts, all those things. You can follow me on Twitter at Jamal SLM, or you can follow me on Instagram at Straw Hat LJ. Shoot. Well, man, yeah, man, this is the first episode, the Big Eyes episode of the decade 2020. Once again, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Yeah, stay plus ultra. Peace.